Namaste everyone, good afternoon and welcome to another of our Friday afternoon QiGong sessions. So today I thought we'd try the whole 5 flow, find what feels good, find yourself a comfortable position and let's move our bodies. So just rubbing your hands, your palms together, just feeling the friction, feeling the connection between your palms, just kind of landing, arriving in your body in this space. Nice deep breath, and let's open up those wrists. Really noticing your positioning, so you're noticing already between your tailbone and the crown of your head. You're relaxing the shoulders down the back body, just kind of setting your body in what feels like your standard Wuji-like posture. It's just full body awareness. Your body knows that in these positions we're fully connected, we're fully aware. Turning around, remember to keep that elbow stationary because that's one that helps us in our flows today. And you can still be flexing the wrists and the fingertips with this, relaxing the shoulders. Okay, let's get them shoulders rolling. So backs of the palms forward, round the sides and back. And the movement is coming though from the shoulders, so we move from the tops of the shoulders and the rest of the body, rest of the arms follow. I find myself with a slight wave on this one as well, just because that feels good. And then back to the palms behind and sweeping round. Feel like I've got the sun blaring above me today. Started to get a bit darker and cloudier. We're getting some more autumnal weather here, though we're not yet in autumn. Certainly feels like it in some ways. Okay, so giving those wrists a nice flick. Nice shake down. Right. So let's open up tension on the tops of the shoulders. We'll do the neck as well, so we'll do owl turns its head. And this is the one where we let those fingertips, imagine gravity pulling them down, so we're not forcing them, but we're letting gravity, we're relaxing, we're consciously relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the elbows, relaxing the fingertips. Imagine the fingertips being pulled down to the earth and the other way. And again, whenever we're moving the neck, always be careful, listen to your body, but lifting from the crown, imagining that opposition from the tailbone, and that offers a bit of stability and support through the spine, through the neck. One more time to each side. Really let those fingertips drop down, lifting in the crown. You can imagine any tension or tightness washing out the fingertips. Really noticing the tops of them shoulders. And it's those bits that we get to release now with stalk spreads its feathers, so imagine like scooping water. And then we stand slightly more upright, or if you're seated, just lifting slightly from the sits bones, fingertips down, relax those shoulders down the back. Again, scooping round, stalk spreads its feathers, relaxing those shoulder blades down the back body, lifting through the crown. So I feel the lines of tension releasing on the tops of the shoulders with this one. Final time. Really allowing the fingertips, giving permission for them to sink to the earth, still a bit active in the elbows. And this time imagining a line of opposition between the crown and the opposite fingers. As if it feels comfortable, we roll the neck over this side, opening up any lines of tension in the top of the shoulder. And then we come round to the other side. Really relaxing those shoulders. Lovely. Oh, I enjoyed that one today. Right, let's get some whole body silk reeling going. This is the one that the waves just come through the full body, and this one helps us with our fountain flow today. So When the hips go back, the chest goes forward. When the hips go forward, chest goes back. And this one's just a wave right the way up. Imagine a wave coming from the soles of the feet right the way up. And this is just opening the front and back of the spine, helping the energy and the circulation to just move through the body. So let that ripple, hips back, chest forward, chest back. As slow and as steady, really articulate the joints. You can place your hands actually on your thighs, which can help keep your shoulder blades a bit more upright and open at the back. Find what feels good. I slightly tuck my tailbone as I'm coming up to really accentuate that stretch through the spine. Final time. Lovely. Okay, so let's open up into the mid body. We'll just do some gentle circles to start. Imagine really, really subtly, just imagining the movements around the hips. You can imagine like a hoop going around the body. Imagine a circle and you're just drawing this small circle around the body, just to bring awareness to this area of the body. And the opposite way. Lovely. Let's add our tray of teacups to that one then. So, arms out to the side, palm upright, comes in. We really move around the hip. We move the wrists a lot for this one as well, which is why we open up so much with this. So imagine coming from the little finger into the side, push around behind. We're scooping around, keeping that tray of teacups straight and over the top, and I find the hips go forward and I move to make the space. So we've got a nice space at the side. Comes in, we push back, it comes round as the hips come round, goes back over the head as the hips come forward. Fingertips in, behind, away, over, around, behind, to the side, and over, opposite way. So it comes over the head, fingertips face away to the side, behind, and then they come forward. Go back over the head, come to the side, face behind, face the side, face back out, go over. Don't worry too much about these, it's just giving the body the invite to get some spirals moving through the body. Focus on one part of the movement, whether that's the hips, the arm, at a time, and it'll all come together in time. So little finger, behind, around and over, little finger comes in, behind, scoops around, over the head. And with this one, hips come to the sides, the space, hips go back as that comes round, hips go forward as it goes over and behind, in, behind, around, over. And the opposite way, so it goes over the head, fingertips face away, and that whole wrist from the elbow joint we turn around to bring it through. And it goes over, fingertips leading, around and through. Took me a while to get the coordination on this one, and then we'll just do one final time, feeling those spirals coming right the way up from the soles of your feet, through your hips, feel it through your shoulders and right the way through the crown of your head, and the opposite way. Just let that integrate in. Whole body awareness. Spirals, nature's natural way of growing. Right, so let's do a bit of support for the lower back and the spine. So you can give it a gentle rub actually. Gentle rub of the lower back. Just waking it up. Bringing some awareness to this part of the body as we do some spine cord opening. So this is the one where we arch the spine as we open up And then articulate right the way from the tailbone. Imagine the vertebrae opening in the back body. If it's comfortable for you, you can bring the elbows to touch together at the front, just to articulate and accentuate that movement. So you can breathe in to open up and breathe out to really arch that back. And I have a slight tipping of the tailbone there as well, just to give further space to the spine, find what feels good. And if you really want to open your back body, you can breathe in at this point and out here, which will accentuate the stretch of the back. Find what feels good today, with awareness right the way through to the palms of the hands, the shoulder blades dropping down the back body. Really letting your body articulate. With these movements, we activate the parasympathetic, the rest digest phase, which in today's world is a real important one, certainly for me. I notice sometimes when I'm doing this, it's only in this moment that I notice how busy my energy, my body, my day's been, especially if I start yawning. This is a great one to relieve any stress or tension in the body, to open up the chest, open up the heart, and then opens up the back body. Okay, so let's do a little bit of shaking just to relax and let that all settle in. Really flicking the fingertips and bouncing into the top and bottoms. So let the tailbone dip. Bouncing into the feet, really flexing at the wrists. And you'll notice I'm moving just around this quad point if that feels comfortable for you. Some days I do, some days I don't. But again, it just offers a nice little bit of opening, and we can open more as well into the twist of the spine. We'll just do a quick knock on the door of life just to get ourselves fully awake and in the moment. We've had the nice twist and warm up of the whole body. Do a little bit into the lower body, and then we'll go straight onto our flows so we can get all 5 in today. So for this one, you never knock directly on the spine, but you can do to either side. So you'll see from here, this is just one nature's caffeine shot, just activates the door of life in Chinese medicine. You can imagine this is the core. If you imagine any core work, if you're used to doing any yoga or gym work, the core, the center point of the body where it's all pulled together, and we're just bringing awareness to that place. A bit of a twist through the spine. So now that we've opened and flexed the joints, settle ourselves down, flick those wrists, and let's do a little bit of waking into the lower body. Just if you're seated, rubbing the thighs, and imagine dipping from the tailbone rather than all the pressure being on the knees. Imagine awareness following that tailbone down and up. Again, imagine the movement coming from the core. Lovely. Right, you can do your knees if that feels good for you, just some gentle circles to bring awareness. The important one for me is also to get those ankles and toes, really give them the freedom to flex, to turn. It's a rotation joint, it's not just forward and backwards. The more we keep these joints open to their full ranges of motion, the more mobile and flexible we can remain in the longer term, I'm thinking. We'll see. I'm behind. Right. So we'll go into our shaking and a bit of wuji, and then we'll go straight onto our postures. We're going to do 5 postures, and what we'll do today is we'll stagger it. We'll do a posture and a flow, posture and a flow, so you can see which links together and also to see which feels better for you. And we can move forward the practice from there. So slight bounce, release any final tension or tightness, bring in the breath to sink in the body now, focusing more on the lower chest, the abdomen, wherever your breath's landing in your body. And just imagine any tension or tightness like grey mist or rain just flicking out the fingertips or the soles of the feet. Imagine lifting from the tailbone as well, so we're moving still from that core place. Any tension or tightness on the inner body, any emotions, imagine them letting go. Really flex those wrists, they can get quite tight. And slowing it down, and we come to stillness. Take our first posture, ready for Buddha upholds the earth. So this one's to open our lung points. So we're lifting in the crown of the head, letting the tailbone sink slightly. So there's a slight bend in the knees, or just if you're seated, awareness from your sits bones to the crown. Imagine the shoulder blades melting down the back body. We're keeping the hands are slightly concave. Okay, slight awareness, almost like they're a bit of a bowl. We're holding around our core. You can bring your awareness to sink. Imagine getting in a lift, and that light passes down and down through the throat, through the chest and the heart, and it comes to rest like a pebble in your abdomen. You can bring to awareness a ball of light in your abdomen. And these visualizations, they say, where your mind goes, energy flows. It's just to bring awareness, bring the mind into the posture, the practice, and give it a break. Relaxing in the elbows, relaxing the shoulder blades, slight tuck of the chin, and at this point you can touch the roof of the mouth with the tongue, just behind the teeth but not touching the teeth, to connect your front and back channels, the microcosmic orbit. If that's a new notion to you, you'll find on the June QiGong challenge an explanation of the microcosmic orbit. So really notice where that breath's landing now. Final deep breath into the abdomen, the lower chest. Even if you can't feel it there, imagine. The mind can take you far. Okay, so the first flow now is Buddha upholds the earth. So this is the one where we come up to like our holding the tree, but then we keep going and we turn from the thumb, kind of the palms. So we keep going and we open up. So there's a slight lift here, and then breathe down. So you can imagine this like gathering. Arms come up, relaxed all the time in the shoulder blades. Palms turn, lift up. You can have a slight hold and breathe out, and imagine washing that down the lungs and to settle in the core. So we breathe in and we gather breath, energy. And then we let that settle right the way through the body. Bringing awareness to all four corners of your feet, or your sits bones. And with this one, unlike many of the QiGong, we do look up when the arms come up. We do follow the hands, which isn't always the case. So we lift and we gather. Pause, and then we breathe out and we let it sink. And as we add breath holds, it just offers deeper relaxation through the body, a break for the mind. water upholds the earth. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our next standing posture, and this is the one for our kidneys, our water channel. So where the arms were in front for Wuji, the fingertips remain pointing at the sides as we bring them round. Keep the shoulder blades dropped, however's comfortable, and you might find that you hinge slightly at the hips, so we're always keeping the spine straight, so we're not slouching we're keeping the spine straight, keeping awareness of the crown to the tailbone connection. And imagine again that you're holding a bowl behind you to just keep the palms concave and facing upright. So it's easier for you to see from the side. We're still in Wuji posture, and you might have that slight angle with the spine. Find what feels good. And once you've found a bit of a position, lifting the crown, tucking in the chin, then you can just breathe some awareness into the lower back, into the core again. So this is still around our core, our lower dantian, our door of life. And this governs the water channel also. You can imagine water gathering, pooling, or light at this point. Again, to keep the mind in the practice, to bring awareness to this part of the body. And then when we're doing our flow, it's from this point that energy, they say, the bodily energy can move and circulate through the whole body. So you can imagine this as the filling, building of energy, like you've turned on the taps and you're filling it up, ready to circulate through the whole system. Breathe in into that lower back, relaxed in the shoulders. You can come out of these and bring your arms to the sides at any point, and then trying to offer the invitation to slowly build. So you breathe into that edge, never to the point of pain, never to the point of discomfort. Meeting the body. Change can take considerable time and progress. A lesson learned and learning many a time. This is just opening the body. We've got our palms nice and stretched. We bring the arms back round to the front. And now we've got that built up container. Imagine now all those waters flowing through as we bring the hands together in front and to the sides, kind of like the heaven flow we used to do for the three treasures. And this time the backs of the palms come together, elbows still soft, comes up the body, and we hinge from the elbows. So the elbows almost stay in a fixed point, like when we do our warm-ups, the elbows are doing this. Okay, so we go wash down, and we're just going to come up and down. Imagine like a fountain, the water comes up from the core. You can imagine the backs of the hands tracing up with that water as it lifts, and then out. Keeping them elbows fixed in space. And then from the side you'll see there's a slight wave through the spine, so not quite as accentuated as our silk reeling when we start, but there's a gentle wave from the tailbone up the body. And then we slow the movement. Finding your own breath, your own pace. Imagining your inner waters just washing through, restoring, nourishing. water so naturally flows. So imagine flowing with ease, that suppleness, that effortlessness of water, especially if there's any challenges in life right now. Just imagine you are the water. Feel how easy it is to just flow. And back to the front, where we come to our next stand like a tree. So again, we're relaxed in the shoulders, relaxed in the elbows, we're slightly cupped in the palms. So you'll see here, the palms almost like middle finger to middle finger, if that helps as a visual, just so that they're settled around the same kind of place around the chest. They settle down. This one's for the liver and for the wood channels. So for this one, imagine slightly stretching the palm open and the fingertips, not overly stretching so it's uncomfortable, but a slight opening. And the same with the feet, especially if you're barefoot. And this just opens the fascia, the connective tissue of the body. Tucking in the chin, lifting in the crown, dropping in them shoulder blades. Letting the breath land around the middle of the abdomen, the chest. This is the one for the liver if you wanted to focus specifically on an organ or a region of the body. Liver associated with green, with nature, so you could breathe green light into that liver area. The liver supports the body in cleansing toxins of many shapes and forms, whatever they may be in this world, emotional, physical, electronic. Just imagine breathing some extra energy, support to the liver. Giving thanks for your body doing so many things without you even having to think about it each day. Gratitude can be powerful in turning around state of mind, state of being. Wonderful. And now we bring those palms facing upright as we now flush through the liver channel and come round to the top for tree sways in the wind. So we trace up the side, which traces the liver meridian, up the side of the face to the centre of the crown. So the tree swaying in the wind. Breathe in to lift. Pause and hold. Breathe out to release. Right, let's go for we might go slightly over today to do our first 5. We bring the hands to the, holding the goblet to the yin position, the golden urn to the yang position even, the heavens. And this is the one where we've got the outer palm slightly pushing out, shoulder blades relaxed, elbows like kind of shoulder width apart. Imagine being lifted from the fingertips slightly. Imagine still cupping the palms, and just imagine holding a golden urn, holding an urn above your head, golden chalice, and the kind of the beak, we call it, of the fingers. You can imagine that pointing to the centre of the forehead, the third eye kind of level. And just imagine breathing in golden light, white light. And imagine that coming into the heart. This is one for the heart. We'll not hold this one for too long today. This is one to build up. Breathe into the shoulders. And imagine if there's any discomfort, never push through discomfort. If there's any, if you're starting to feel that kind of tiredness, a bit of an ache, imagine it like a cork on water. Imagine that joint floating on water, ease and effortlessness. whether the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists. So we bring the arms down to settle. One comes across the front, kind of like our tree position, standing position, and this is cloudy hands. So we go from the side, we change arms, shift from the hips, imagine going slightly backwards, turn. I go slightly wider than Wuji posture with my legs, so find what's comfortable for you. Shift, turn, turn the hands. Back with the hips, turn. I turn kind of on a pivot, imagine there's a pole going through. So we're staying nice and upright for this one, so we go back with the hips, turn, change hands. Back with the hips, turn, change hands. Cloudy hands. Change hands, hips, turn, hips back, turn from that kind of point. And imagine the lower hand's going over a lake, like mist on a lake, and the upper hand is the sun trying to shine through the mist. Cloudy hands. So upper hands around the chest, heart level, lower hands skimming on the surface of the water. And back to centre. Final one, we will be slightly over today. Relaxing the elbows, relaxing the shoulders, slight cupping still of the palms, connecting to your foundation, to your sits bones, to your legs, slight bend in the knees. Relax the shoulder blades down the back body, and this is how it looks from the side. It's kind of around your solar plexus kind of level, the bottoms of the lungs. This one supporting the stomach, the spleen, and this associating one of its qualities is nurturing, community. So what nourishment, what way of nurturing yourself might support you at present. Just breathing into that, not having to think about it, just putting the question out there. We breathe some time and support to our stomach, our digestive system. Feeling that solid foundation in the legs, the sits bones. This one golden urn to the yin position, so imagine that urn has been tipped and it's pouring now, connecting us to the earth, connecting us to your foundation. So we bring the hands to that kind of solar plexus level, the kind of lower ribs. We skim, pebble on a pond, breathing in. So imagine we gather the water, feel them ripples coming up to your centre and core, and then we skim that pebble. And we look slightly forward again, keeping a straight spine, but it's like we look at our reflection in the water, and then we stand and lift. Hips go back, ever so slightly. Skim those hands across the surface of the water one more time. Let's draw down the heavens. Purple light washing through the whole body. Again, when we go around, slight lift. Settling down the energy for that practice. Final time, gathering whatever quality of energy you need right now. Palms come together. Those claws come together around your core. And take a couple of nice deep breaths in. You can bring the legs together in tree sways in the wind. Bamboo, like a pine. Final deep breath. circles, stay there for as long as feels right for you to let that practice integrate, and release with an audible sigh when you're ready. Namaste everyone. So let me know how you found that. How was it to do the postures and then the flow rather than holding all the postures all the time? Find what feels good, and I will see you next week for another live session. So take good care everyone. See you next week.